Hey guys, it's YT42, and welcome to Castlevania. And before I get started, let me just say this is post-commentary, because going through this game, going through this game live is extremely difficult, especially since I don't have the patience to practice this one as much, because I much prefer Contra over this game. Although that's not to say this game is bad, this game's great, but I'm personally a bigger fan of, in terms of Konami series, I'm a bigger fan of Contra. Although I've yet to try a Metal Gear game, even though I have extreme interest in it. But regardless, here we have Simon Belmont, and the story of this game goes, the Belmont clan, who or the Belmont family rather, who Simon Belmont here is part of, has had a long history of fighting Dracula, and stopping Dracula from taking over the world, taking over Europe at least, once every 100 years, when he and his castle, named Castlevania, rise from the ashes. And so that generation's Belmont has to step in and say, hey man, it's not good, it's not gonna happen. And so they wield the trusty vampire killer whip, which is what Simon has equipped now. And yep, you just take out Dracula. Now there are 6 stages in this game. 6 levels rather. The game likes to call, like I just walked through a door there, right? The game calls this a separate stage from the one we were just in, which I don't. This is still level 1 to me. There's 6 levels. I think there's 18 stages in total, from what the game likes to think. So yeah, anyway, a bit about this game. Released 1987. Spawned, obviously, the Castlevania series, which everyone's a big fan of. Although this is Classicvania. This is much more different from the newer Metroidvania style games. And here I jumped back down here to get the war meat, which recovers health, which I'll explain soon. But yeah, this game is very different compared to its successors, as in like later down the line. The next 2 aren't too different. Well, number 2 is, but number 3 and 4 and Bloodlines and Rondo of Blood are pretty similar to this, and Dracula X if you want to count that. But yeah, so as for what we got in the top, in our little HUD there, we got the score obviously, we got our health, the player health, we got the boss health, which will come into play when we get to the end of the stage and fight the boss. The time, the stage, the amount of hearts you have. Now breaking open candles can either net you a sub-weapon like it just did there, and he gave me the axe, or it can give you hearts, which are used as ammo for the weapons. So as you see, when I throw the axe there, it uses up 1 heart. And below that is the amount of lives I have. So here's our first boss, it's just the bat. He can catch you off guard. He's not too hard, but oh, I just picked up a double shot there, which makes me throw 2 axes at once. And with that, that's the first level. Yeah. So if you can't tell, I mean not at this point, but this playthrough is heavily edited, editing out all my deaths and stuff. So going through a door counts as well, it is a checkpoint, but losing all your lives rather, will send you back to the beginning of the stage if you use a continue. Luckily you have infinite continues, something I think Contra could have taken a note from, especially Contra Hardcore, Hard Corpse. But yeah, here we have the boomerang cross, which acts as a boomerang. Also stairs. Stairs the worst enemy of every Castlevania player, because you can hardly maneuver yourself on stairs, and enemies, I mean at least you can't be knocked back, which is another issue. And yeah, you can only go up and down and trying to throw sub-weapons, which is done by holding up and the attack button, is extremely difficult, because you press up to go upstairs, and yeah. You can't jump on or off of stairs, and ugh. Anyway. Yeah, knockback. Every time you get hit, which I may show off here, because Medusa heads are the worst enemies, well, not the worst enemies in this game. That goes to the hunchbacks. Or the crows. But anyway, if you get hit, you get Simon jumps back about 2 meters in extreme pain. And yeah, that can send you flying down into pits like that. Although I got lucky there with the knockback. Speaking of which, in terms of jumping, once you leave the ground, you cannot change your direction in midair. So better make that jump count. You can jump just straight up or in a direction, and you keep your momentum as you jump. You won't stop in the middle of your jump. So there you go. Also, I'm a little upset there because I accidentally grabbed the stopwatch instead of the boomerangs, which is the boomerangs are kind of helpful for this area. But the stopwatch can freeze time at the cost of 5 hearts per use. And yeah, that's not fun. But here we have the next section. Is there war meat here? No. Oh yeah, money bag. Oh, there it is, but I can't get it. Money bags just give you points. Once you get, I think, 20,000 points, you get an extra life. Also, be careful of these spikes. Spikes in most epic games, honestly, are scary creatures because, I mean, if you got the stopwatch here, they're not too bad. But especially in this game, just touching the side of the spikes kills you, which is stupid, but, you know, 8-bit. And so there we have bone pillars, which are another annoying enemy that I'll get into after this bat enemy, which are also annoying just because of knockback. Enemies do a bunch of health later on. Anyway, bone pillars, they fire off shots, these fireballs, that you can whip through and break like that. But they take 6 hits to collapse, which is annoying. But yeah, as for the sub-weapons, I've already gone over the stopwatch, the boomerang, and, well, the axe you just throw in a diagonal arc, or in an arc, not a diagonal arc, as I showed before. The dagger you just throw straight ahead of you. It's just a screen. It just goes for the entire screen in terms of range. It's not very powerful though, compared to the whip. And obviously you got the whip here. The cross, that's a screen nuke. So yeah, if there were Medusa heads on screen, they would have been dead. What else? Holy water, stopwatch, boomerang, knife. Axe. Yeah, so the only weapon left that I haven't gone over. Also, Medusa here not only is getting phased in and out of existence by the sprite flickering. Sprite flickering, thank you. Anyway, yeah, the holy water is incredibly useful. It's, what's the name? It's a projectile, sort of, except it just goes a few meters in front of you. But when it hits the ground, not only does it do damage, but it leaves a fireball, which, this is it, by the way, right here. I'll show it off in a second. It leaves a fireball like that, which can linger, not only, you know, hurt enemies over time, but stun them, which is incredibly useful. Oh, it must be 30,000 points for an extra life. That jingle there was what the extra life jingle is. But yeah, hunchbacks, maybe my least favorite enemy in the game. Oh, there's skeletons here, which you just rush this one and it'll, you know, you'll get them. But yeah, hunchbacks are extremely annoying because they're randomized pattern of when they'll jump or when they won't jump, and you won't know. Crows suck too, because sometimes they'll swoop at a low altitude and you can hit them with your whip. Sometimes they go too low, you can't hit them, and sometimes they go just perfect. Or sometimes they go too high. But yeah, holy water, useful for small arcs like that. Also, I didn't mean to jump there. I meant to jump there, but, you know, this game's controls aren't exactly top-notch. The game, to really get controls right, for the most part, is Super Castlevania 4, which is my favourite Castlevania. Although, I've only played this game, the opening of Symphony of the Night, and Super Castlevania 4, so yeah. I'm not exactly well versed in terms of playing them, but Simon and Richter's announcement for Smash has sort of kindled piqued my interest in looking at Castlevania. I mean, I've always liked Castlevania from a distance. I've never actually played it often. Every now and then I pop in Super Castlevania 4 because it's a lot of fun. But also, holy water, it helps a lot for these bone pillars, because it stuns them. But yeah. Anyway, I'm planning on changing that. Maybe soon I'll play through Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, which, I mean, I hear a lot of mixed opinions on the game, but I can't say for myself whether or not I like it. Or don't like it. I don't know. Castlevania 3 I know is probably the hardest in the series, aside from that one arcade game, Vampire Killer. And there I go and get myself killed. Which resets not only your whip upgrades, which can be upgraded twice, but it really doesn't take that much to upgrade your whip. I got lucky there. But it also resets your hearts, and gets rid of your sub-weapon and any double shots or triple shots you might have had. Yeah, so the double shots I keep picking up, you can also upgrade them to triple shots if you get really lucky. Triple shot holy water is damn near essential for stage 5, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, these skeletons here, that skeleton that jumps over, make sure you kill it just like as it's, you know, landing on the platform, otherwise it will knock you into the pit and it will kill you, and that will suck. Because I'm sorry to say, but this is just before the boss, and hey, and useless invincibility. Here they give you the dagger, which, meh. Dagger's pretty useless. Here's a whip upgrade. Here's some meat, thank god. So, the mummy men. They are, honestly, as long as you pick up the meat, just go all guns blazing. This is what I did here, and I got pretty lucky. You can break their little projectile by whipping through it. Bandages, maybe? But anyway, that's the end of that episode. Check out that little title card. Anyway, hey guys, it's been YT42, and I'll see you guys next time for more Castlevania. So, well, see you guys then.